coming up this week. It's the third part of my short series looking back at Couch to 5K. And this time it's weeks 6 and 7 and the runs start to get a bit longer. So this week we're going to be featuring runs 6 and 7, and as with the other videos in this series, I'm not going to be showing the entire thing. That would be nuts. But if you want to watch the videos in their entirety, then down below the like button you will find links to those videos and also a link to the playlist where all 27 runs, 9 weeks of Couch to 5K is featured. So, weeks 6 and 7, it all gets a bit of a blur at this stage, so I can't really remember the times, what it was that I was doing. So let's get cracking, let's watch week 6, see what I was up to.
So, run 1 starts off with okay, I'm not going to talk about the warm-ups and the warm-downs, cool-downs, but the actual running part, we got a 5-minute run, then a 3-minute walk, then an 8-minute run, 3-minute walk, 5-minute run. Now that sounds okay. It's funny because even just, I don't know, a week ago, certainly 2 weeks ago, the prospect of an 8-minute run would have sent me into palpitations. But now I'm thinking, yeah, 8 minutes, bring it on. Right, then we move on to, listen to me, Usain Bolt. Now we move on to week 6, run 2. And okay, this is a bit more involved perhaps than the run 2 from last week, because we've got a 10-minute run, 2 10-minute runs separated by a 3-minute walk. So again, that should be okay. That's all right. A little bit more worried about that one than run 1, but hey, I did 20 minutes on Friday. I did 20 minutes on Friday. So not Friday, Tuesday. I don't even know what day of the week it is. Now, we move on then to run 3, as I just alluded to, 25-minute run. That's what we'll be doing. So that's what we're working up to this week.
Right, that's week 6, run 1, completed. Just on my warm down at the moment. And I took a slightly different route, went along the beach for part of it, as you can see, and it was a bit hard in places on the sand, which isn't that surprising, but I found some sort of harder sand to run on, some firmer sand, that's a better word, and that was okay on there, but definitely I think running on the pavements does seem to be a bit better generally, but I thought I'd come down here for a change because it's very nice scenery to run, and there was nobody else, hardly anybody about. Saw another couple of runners. That was about it, a couple of dog walkers. Right. Done. Whew. I forgot to say actually on the last run, I said I found it all a bit harder. And what I actually did was to start off with on that run, I was listening to a podcast rather than music.
Now that's interesting. I didn't realise, again, I've said this a lot in this series, I didn't realise that I was listening, I thought I listened to music and I listen to the as the voice is going, you can listen to your own audio. That's what I'm trying to say. And I didn't realise, I thought I always listened to music, but actually right back as far as this, I was listening to podcasts, which is something that I do quite often, even now, when I'm out for a run.
I'm not really thinking so much now about the length of time. Before, in the first 4 weeks, even that 5th week, we would be concentrating a lot on, oh, it's going to be 3 minutes, or it's going to be 5 minutes, or whatever. And now I'm not really thinking about that. I'm not really the figure. It's just a number, and I know I can do it, so it's not so much of a worry now.
That's interesting. That is also a turning point, because I thought it was much later that I started thinking about, or stopped thinking really about the times. But because you're going for that much longer, you almost can't believe what you're doing, and you stop worrying about the little 3 minutes becoming 4 minutes, becoming 5. It's a long run, and you're just kind of concentrating on what you're doing. It is a bit of you don't realise it at the time, but it's a bit of a turning point.
So here we are, it's another epic run because it's time for a 25-minute run. I've literally just finished 25 minutes and started to warm down walk. I can't believe it. I didn't think I was going to do that. I genuinely did, but it just shows you just got to keep going. It didn't say much in the way of instructions as you were going through. It just mentioned I got to halfway and suddenly it was, oh, you've done 12 and a half minutes, you're halfway. Okay, got further than I thought. Brilliant. So, yeah, really chuffed about that. Really can't believe it actually, that I managed to do that.
So the thing I'm still surprised about, even at this stage, is that I'm wearing a running top that's kind of just an ordinary t-shirt. That's what it's, an old t-shirt. And I'm not wearing a wicking shirt. I still haven't quite worked out that with these longer runs, I should be wearing something that's going to evaporate the sweat. It'll take the sweat away from my skin. It shows how much I've got to learn at this stage still.
On the last, when it came up to the finish, I'd done 24 minutes. And she said, right, try and increase the speed for the last minute if you feel able to. And I thought, yeah, I'll give that a go, why not? And yeah, it felt good actually, that last minute, speeding up a bit, it was great.
I suppose what's interesting here is the jump up from 20 minutes to 25 minutes. It's still a significant percentage, isn't it? It's still a 25% increase on what you were running. You were doing 20 minutes and you're going up by another quarter to 25. So it doesn't sound like more. And now I would think 20, 25, that's nothing. But at the time, it is still quite a lot. It's still quite a big step up. Okay, so that's week 6 then. It was just like 25-minute runs. Whoop, it's gone. So now we're on to week number 7. And I think this changes things a little bit. It's not what you think it's going to be, I think.
Hello, it's week 7 on Couch to 5K. We are now 2/3 of the way through, believe it or not, having completed week 6. Yes, I can still do maths. Hey, get me? Now, this week, all the 3 runs are the same. And it's hardly worth me bringing it up on the screen, but I'm going to, and you can see that the 3 runs are the same. And sandwiched between the 2 5-minute warm-ups is a 25-minute run. Now, I can do that. I know I could do it because run 3 on week 6 was 25 minutes. But now we've got the prospect of 3 runs now of that 25-minute duration. I found week 6 run 3 quite hard, but I managed it. I did manage to do it, which I was really pleased about. So now I've got 3, I've got to repeat it 3 times. And I'm imagining that the program is designed that that will help to build stamina, I guess. I don't know how it all works, but I'm going to continue to trust the program and I'm going to go out and really give it my best.
Right, that's it then. That's run 1 of week 7 complete. I had, yeah, it was hard going to start off with. Somebody posted on Health Unlocked a link to an article about the toxic 10, and I'd read something similar elsewhere on there as well, and it's got something to do with your body, or your brain really, not realising that you're running and having to adjust according to catch up effectively. I'm not medically trained, can you tell?
So again, this is interesting because I'm discovering about that toxic 10, and that's something that I don't think really goes away. It certainly hasn't for me. Sometimes I'll go out for a run for an hour now, and that first few minutes I think I'm not going to do it. I still think I'm not going to do it, but of course you can do it. You get over that and then you kind of get your second wind and off you go. So if you're doing Couch to 5K or you're new to running, don't worry about that first few minutes. It might not be 10, it might be longer for you. It certainly was for me to start off with. It's just one of those things. Push through it, pace yourself, and you will get there.
I had an email from a friend of mine who he ran the London Marathon a couple of years ago, and he's just signed up to do Paris next year. And doing this, which is just a drop in the ocean by comparison, gives me a real, well, you know, I've taken my hat off. I'll take my hat off to people who do any kind of middle or long distance running. I don't know how you do it. It's incredible, the training that must be involved in order to get to those levels. I mean, here's me, say, working up towards 5,000 metres, and there's him doing 26 miles. I mean, in metres, that's loads. That's it. Run 2 completed of week 7, another 23rd 25-minute run in a row. And I picked up the pace that time, actually went a bit quicker. I was thinking while I was running that it doesn't really matter what you wear when you go out. You could wear, I don't know, some day-glow green shorts or something. It wouldn't matter because you kind of become invisible when you go out for a run. I mean, for example, today I'm wearing a tutu and some fishnet stockings, and nobody has batted an eyelid. It just goes to show. I think maybe the stilettos, the 6-inch stilettos, they weren't such a good idea. Made running uphill really tricky. But there we go. And the other thing as well is, of course, you get a bit hot, sweaty when you're out. But because you don't stand still for very long, you could smell like the inside of a skip, and it doesn't really matter. So I was going home the other day, saw one of my neighbours across the way, and decided not to go over and have a chat because I didn't have any smelling salts on me. Right, so that's week 7 complete, run 3 complete. It was, I'm just started my warm down, and it's a bit warmer out, but as many people have pointed out, it's a lot hotter elsewhere in the world, so I'm not going to complain. To start off with, I thought, well, the same really as the other times I've done 25 minutes, and when I did the 20 minutes as well. To start off with, you think, I'm never going to do this. And then for me at the moment, it's not really a toxic 10, it's like a toxic 15. It's I'm getting through the first 15 minutes, and then it seems to be okay. It seems to take me that long really to set into a rhythm.
So that's it. That's week 6 and 7. It kind of goes by in a little bit of a blur, those weeks, I think. And I'd forgotten that you had that kind of 25 minutes, then you went back and then you put in 3 loads of 25 minutes. And it feels like it feels like a big step up, and yet it's not a big step up in some ways. It sounds a bit weird, but you go up in the following weeks. There's you're adding another 3 minutes, I think, in the next run, and it's these little bits that you're bolting on that don't sound like very much, but at the time it feels like huge strides actually. So I'm really interested to see how the program wraps up. That's what I'll be talking about in my next video when I look at runs 8 and 9. But don't forget that you can watch all of the videos that I've just been kind of skimming over in their entirety down below the like button. And don't forget to hit that like button if you're enjoying this little recap. Thanks for all the comments that I've been receiving. It's great to hear what you think. And I will see you for the final in this short series next week. Will I complete Couch to 5K? Spoiler alert, yes!